Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture. Today is Thursday, which means Throwback Thursdays is the 22nd episode of it. And today I am reviewing the album by Metric called Fantasies. This one came out in 2009. They're a Toronto-based band consisted of Emily Haynes, who is the front woman, Jimmy Shaw, who is the guitarist and producer, Josh Winstead, who is the bass guitar, and Joel Scott Key, who is on the drums. So I do have a history with this one, but I haven't actually listened to the full-on album. Well, as I thought I did. So I have to take you back to a time I was hanging out with some friends, and pretty much they were playing kind of all the throwbacks of like different types of like rock that was going on in the early 2000s and mid 2000s kind of direction. And so we're kind of just vibing over it because it's kind of our generation of like rock. And but I was kind of in that time I was kind of touching on that and also R&B in that mixture, but I didn't really fall into Metric entirely. So we're just hanging out, and pretty much they start playing Metric music or their songs. I did not realize that I think they were playing this whole album the whole time and moved on to maybe in the next album or whatever. Because there's some songs in this album that I felt like I was like, I think I remember this sound of this song. So with that said, with that in mind, and with the idea that I wanted to kind of throw in a little bit more rock into this Throwback Thursdays, I feel like I touched on some pop, I touched on some R&B, I touched on some hip hop. I now want to get into some rock in that direction. So here I am. So let me talk about some of the songs I like and some of the songs that really pulled me that I want to give a shout out to as well. Majority of this album has stars. I pretty much like this album. I will tell you up front right now, I really, really like it. I love the topics that they talk about. I love the metaphors, and I love the idea of kind of the transparency of me kind of looking back at the words and everything that they're describing and seeing that there's a full-on story, and basically each song has its own little story to it. So I'm not going to remember all of the stories, but the ones that really impact that I do remember, I'll definitely talk about. So let's go off in order, I guess. So we start off with Help I'm Alive, that's one of the singles that I've heard before, but I wasn't really touching on it yet. But now as I've gone to listen to it since I want to say that day, I really, really love it. This one pretty much talks about being paralyzed by the expectations of others. She says, if I stumble, they'll eat me alive, or they're gonna eat me alive. It's hard to be soft, hard to be tender. Pretty much say you can't be vulnerable around other people because of the expectations that they're looking at for you. You have to have a facade the whole time kind of thing. So yeah, so I really love that. I love that song. I love the idea of being paralyzed and being anxious, as she says, help I'm alive, my heart's beating like a hammer. I know some people like to kind of make fun of it back then with beating like a hamburger. I think it's completely sounds like that though. Sick Muse is one of the songs I thought why does this sound so familiar? But I really, really like it. I think it's really fun. This one, actually, they had a tough time with this song trying to match the lyrics with the melody. Eventually, they figured it out. This one talks about the idea of pretty much just not wanting Cupid or love to get in her way of her goals that she wants to do. That's not really surrounded that. So she says, watch out, Cupid stuck me with the sickness, put your little arrows out and let me live my life. Pretty much in that saying that exactly that. Going into the next one, Satellite Mind. I had to listen to the whole song entirely because I got the whole gist of the background of it, which is apparently Emily was at a funeral and she was just thinking about stuff like paranormal stuff, and the idea of like, what if there's a ghost that appears but never wants to go away, or just irritating you the whole time, kind of thing. So she based that off this song, and I feel like she's trying to it stays on that topic. Like, it talks, she's like, I can feel your ghost when I'm alone. And I love the melody, the melody that goes into the pre-chorus. Or I don't really want to go. I'm not gonna go all the way into it because it's pretty fast. But I love it. I love them. I love how that goes. But yeah, so that one talks about that. But it has nothing about anything serious, and I love that kind of thing. It's just like when you can make a song that feels powerful without it having to be so direct in your face about what the topic could be. Next song I really like is Gold Guns Girls. This one pretty much talks about greed in all its form, and pretty much says how, like, we're built in society to be insatiable, to always want things and always want more things and more of it, and never having, and even if you get what you want, even that's not enough. You still want more, kind of thing. As she says, I just lost my place. All the gold, and the guns in the world couldn't get you off. And then it kind of mingles into, it seems like it starts off about, like, talking about everybody, but then it hones into a person that she's using as an example. So this person is just never satisfied about wanting, about what he has. And so she sees that, and she says, remember when we we were gambling to win, everybody else says, ha 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 ha, or better luck next time. It's pretty much talking about the idea that they were gambling with their love to kind of like see if they can work out, knowing that in the end that they have two different perspectives in life. He wants to be very materialistic, and she's not like that. And so they still did it because they felt like they had a chemistry, so they went after each other and tried to make it work, and everybody else is like, yeah, we see right through it, it's not gonna work out. And so the first one, they're pitying them, is like, okay, better luck next time, maybe there's more fish out there. And the second time it comes around, they're just laughing at them because you're just like, you already know how this is gonna end. So the idea of you doing it a second time is just ridiculous. But yeah, there's one part I want to talk about. Oh, I think I just said it. So yeah, and then kind of repeating, is it ever going to be enough? Give Me Sympathy is the next song I really, really like, and this one's a bit of a kind of blocky to break down a little more. So this one alludes to two songs. So one song is Give Me Shelter by the Rolling Stones and Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. The idea of this song is pretty much comparing optimism with pessimism, and I think that in that way, Give Me Shelter is pretty much the idea of Rolling Stones pretty much is saying that everything's great until something bad happens, and that we're always one half of an inch or so, like one hair away from having something bad happen to us, or something bad that occurs around us or whatever. So it's that kind of a pessimistic thing, like, oh, no matter how great things are going, you're always one step close to something bad happening. And then the other side says that what the Beatles are saying with Here Comes the Sun is learning how to forgive and how to look at the world in an optimistic way, and kind of portraying that out, so then you can kind of receive that back in a way. And so apparently her and Jimmy Straw was pretty much talking about the idea, which is like, which one's right? They both have a point, but what should you really lean into? And she pretty much, the topic of the song is pretty much, it depends on how you see it. It depends on how you see life, kind of thing. And it goes over time. It says pretty much that, it says, after all this is gone, who would you rather be, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones? but it switches over saying like it wants you to be more like the Beatles, saying, seriously, you're gonna make mistakes. You're young. Pretty much telling you to look towards the hope and everything instead of the thinking that something's gonna happen at any moment that's bad. The next song I really like is Front Row, and I love the bass guitar in this. So good job to Joshua. This song pretty much talks about the this is another one that I have to dissect the parallels of music and how powerful it can be, and musicians inside that music and what their stance is, how you can go from being idolized to being hated at any time. People can love you one day and then they'll flip over and just leave you to dust, and the next day if you do anything like the smallest mistake, or if you stumble, as that connects to Help I'm Alive, it's just like, if I stumble they'll eat me alive. And just like, if you're a fan, why would you eat this? Why would you go after this person? Why would you critique this person that bad or ditch them that easily if you're such a fan to them or you love them so much? That's why I always believe, and I say this all the time, like, if you're going to stand or be a fan of a person or people, you have to take them flaws and all, every bit of things. They could be completely weird or have things, but you have to take that and, like, you know what, that is them, you know. So this one uses it in two different verses. So the first one is, they started off by saying the overarching is burned out stars, they shine so bright. Pretty much a weird, ironic kind of direction. It was like, oh, they're burnt out, but God, that we still love them, kind of thing, and kind of have an expectation for them to still be there. So the first verse would say it's he's not perfect. He's my hero. So, smashing the piano, spinning on the front row, chronic confrontation, psychic conversation, radical compassion. One side. The other side says he's not perfect. He's a victim of his occupation, social installation, secret intervention, charging with possession. This whole kind of weird space of how we see these people and how they form because of how we see them and how we expect them to be, kind of thing. I really like that one. Blindness is another one I have to break down too. This one is pretty much talks about describing the aftermath of a disaster or war or an ongoing war that's been happening but now it ended. And so in the end of it, the person that stands is Emily, and she's the newfound leader, and there's a lot of expectations for being a leader now that everything has been destroyed around her, and because of the wars and everything, so now she has to be the beacon of hope and the new thing that that people are leaning to. There's a lot of expectation for her to fix what went wrong, and she has it where she's like, leave it up to me, loves me. And I didn't write it down, but she talks about being a blind hero or something like that. But it's that kind of thing. It's just like, I'm blinded to the direction of I'm just doing it, without really knowing that. It's just like there's a lot of pressure on me to fix everything. And it's, as she says, she's like, what it is and where it stops, no one knows. They gave me a life I never chose. I want to leave, but the world won't let me go. Yeah, I really like that one. And then finally, another one I like, which is the last song, which is Stadium Love. This one talks about pretty much a situation where if you put Noah's Ark, transport them to the Thunderdome, and pretty much they are fighting off every animal is fighting off each other for the entertainment of the crowd. And this lyric kind of breaks it down perfectly. Actually no, not lyric. Well, yeah, it actually does. Every living thing pushed into the ring, fighting it out to wow the crowd. Guess you thought you could just watch. No one else is getting out without Stadium Love. She has a full-on thing where she explains it, and she says, we're at the point in this planet where we're the line between a participant and spectator I can't say the word right now, but pretty much people that are being watched to do stuff because they do it, and then people that want to do it because they are participating in a thing because they want to, are not just blurred, but it's completely disappeared completely. The natural world used to be something that we used to exploit for our own pleasures, but now it's fighting back and it will win. Pretty much pointing out that we exploited a lot of our natural causes, a lot of our natural stuff that we have in this planet, and now it's in a space where we can't even where it's not even a participate to be a part of this game. You are this game, no matter if you want to be or not. And now we're in a spot where all the things that we cause has consequences is kind of hitting back on us. So like global warming and all these other things are happening, and honestly, you can look at the coronavirus the same way too, way before this. But that kind of thought is just like, now Mother Nature's like, well, you're going to see what it looks like when you fucked up so many things and you never listen to the fact that things need to change. Now this is what it looks like. And now I'm fighting back and to change it back to where it needs to be. So, yeah, I really love that metaphor. I think it's so beautiful and so powerful. And it's a very powerful ending to this album. I give this album a 10 out of 10 easily. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you like this album, you have history with this album, please let me know. I would love to know your stories. If you like this video, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell too so you get more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next video.